Hi guys, it's Summers here with another episode of my Aston Villa Road to Glory career mode for FIFA 19, and today's episode is going to be a bonanza of both signings and selling. As we enter this episode, you can see here that I'm just negotiating some deals with Arsenal for Smith Rowe and Ipswich for Andre Dozzell. Moving on to Reece Oxford from West Ham, centre-back, young prospect. I've had him on a few career modes in the past and he's always served me pretty well. And so those three youngsters are not signings for directly now. They're the type of players that I'm going to be rotating in and out of the system. And as you can see, with those type of players, when we're negotiating their contracts, we're not necessarily having to give them either much more than they're currently on, or in some cases we're actually getting a better deal than they were previously on with their predecessor club. So as you can see here with Smith Rowe, he's on 6-7 with Arsenal, and we're managing to negotiate a deal where he's on 4,900 wage-wise. Micah Richards, as we saw from the last episode, has also been sold, and we've got an offer here for Bonanza. Only played one game with him so far, but didn't really get a feel for the guy in terms of his ability to boss the midfield. So I'm going to let him go. I think I can do more damage with that money.
Well, it may be a pre-season tournament, but semi-finals are always exciting. This is the European International Cup, of course.
Yeah, a lot at stake here, Martin, which is a departure from my day when you could get fit away from the glare of publicity, but these boys have put on a good show so far.
Well, he's looked, the manager, at what they need in the transfer market, and he's decided that a strong central defender is what's required, and here he is making his debut.
Yeah, they conceded one or two sloppy goals, I thought, last season particularly, and in an effort to stop that, he brings in this player who might just be able to plug some gaps.
If we're looking for energy in midfield, which I think the manager is, from what we've been talking to him about, and a new signing today with that in mind, I guess.
Down the sides, the way they're lined up here.
Okay, so we're off into the action here, and unfortunately we're pressed back. The opposition get a shot off there, but it's into the stands. And under a bit more pressure, which is unfortunate. And again, the keeper has had to make a good save. Okay, so as we join him sort of 20-odd minutes into the game here, we've had some pressure on the team. It's a great run there by Jack Grealish, and he's knocked it round his opposition, and he's knocked it out to Balassi, and Balassi has put it in the top corner again. Another great goal from Yannick Balassi. As we see the replay here, Jack Grealish just knocking the ball around his opposition, and Balassi stroking it into the top corner. Fantastic goal from Balassi there. Moved on into the second half here, and we were just playing the ball around the field, spraying the ball around into the box, and my goodness, how did Balassi miss that one?
Yeah, I think that would have been game over. It should have been really from that distance.
Just wide of the post, but come on, we really should be putting those kind of chances away as Glenn Whelan comes off. Replaced by Conor Hourihane. Opposition's in. Oh, and they've hit the bar. Good bit of defending there, shrugging the player off the ball in the box. Are they going to have a last-minute attack here, put us under pressure? That's weak defending, and some good shielding there from the young defender.
They've done it. They've got through the semi-finals, and they are in the final.
It's wonderful feeling. I can vouch for that. Look at the players down there.
There's a good result there against Portimonense, as we move off into some training here, we're going to just change up what we currently have set out, because we've got some new players to get trained up. So we're popping in Brewster, Dozal, and simulating those just to add some performance to those players for the future as we move into the final.
Well, it's very much the way of pre-seasons these days. We've got a grand final here, the final of the European International Cup.
Yeah, and it is billed as a friendly, a pre-season one, but both these teams, these players will be taking it really seriously if what we've seen so far is anything to go by.
So we've already played this team once, and we kind of know their pressure points, I would have thought, but with some new players on the pitch and trying out some different tactics, oh dear, straight away we are going one down. That gives us a mountain to climb. Nice through ball there. Keeper really couldn't do anything with that one-time hit. Straight into the top corner. So we're going to try and build from the back here, and a nice pass out from Jedinak there to Hutton as we get it out down the wing. Cross the ball in. Oh, what a great header, but the keeper's there behind it. Putting us under pressure yet again with the through balls. Oh, and that's another great save from the keeper down to his right. Some defensive pressure there, just playing the ball out, and Grealish has knocked the ball on. Through ball there, and out to Brewster. Oh, what a great ball. Out. Oh, he's tried to chip the keeper. Adama tried to chip the keeper there. It was a cheeky little dink that he was trying to get in the top corner, but it was a good effort nevertheless. As we move out into the second half of the game, still putting them under pressure because, as you know, we're 1-0 down. We need to get a goal, and Grealish has forced a save there from the keeper from the edge of the box. Under attack, but we've managed to get the ball out, and Grealish has knocked it out left, but he's making a sterling run onwards. Lob through ball towards Grealish, and he's holding off the defender, and what a fantastic goal there from Jack Grealish. Can't wait to see the replay on that one, because that is a fantastic goal. As the young player's just running through here and holding off the defender, it's just dropped across in front of him, and he's just literally dinked it over the top of the keeper into the top corner. Bit of a toe bunt actually, but a lovely little dink off the post and in. Fantastic goal there from Grealish. More pressure here from the opposition as they get down out the wing, and strange there from the defender, but as keeper gets his hands on it and knocks it out. Still more pressure, and they've managed to wrangle a free kick off of us here on the edge of the box. Substitution for the opposition.
Well, this is a really good opportunity to take the lead.
Covering off the post there with my player as I attempted to get back onto the post. And we knock the ball out wide here.
Space to go forward into with the ball.
Oh, what a fantastic opportunity, but first time volley from Lansbury.
Not too much wrong with the technique there.
It was just too far behind him to be able to wrap his foot around it and get it into the top corner. So as we've gone into the end of that match 1-1, we're now on to penalties, and as you can see, I'm just shaking around the order of the penalty takers because I don't like to have all the best players front loaded.
Because if they do fail, there's a bit of room for manoeuvre
so
afterwards.
We've got Tammy Abraham first, steps up and
error.
hits the ball to the right, and the keeper makes a save.
So it's his turn now from the spot.
Come on, Nyland, we need you to help us out now. And he has. It's a weak effort, to be honest. He's just tried to chip it into the right-hand side of the goal. Whelan goes to his right, and he's saved as well. This is a terrible start to the shootout. Not scored a goal yet, as we try to put their player off with a few shimmies, and we've gone the wrong way.
A good penalty in the circumstances. Here's the next penalty take.
Bolassi's stepping up now, and we're going to go to the other side. And the keeper's got across to that one as well. 3 missed penalties in the opening phase of a penalty shootout. Surely this is unheard of. What a terrible, terrible penalty. Look at that terrible bit of goalkeeping. And finally, we've put one away.
Very testing. So next up to take the penalty.
Player steps up, tries another dink shot, and we've pulled it out the top left-hand corner.
I mean, when you stand still as a keeper and you pick it out of the air, you do look a fool as a penalty taker.
And another scored penalty. Yeah, we're off and away now with the penalties.
The toughest moment, really. He's got to score, otherwise they're beaten.
Can we actually win this penalty shootout having missed our opening 3 penalties? And yes, we can. He's hit the post.
Conclusion, this big final here. But sadly, the conclusion is not a happy one for the team that, Alan, we thought were good enough to win today.
We did, and you have to feel for those.
So a successful pre-season tournament here for them. They hold aloft the European International Cup.
Yeah, well done to all concerned. And I think they've enjoyed it, actually, taking part in this tournament over the course of the last few days, weeks.
So it wasn't really a stellar match there, was it? To be perfectly honest, we had a 1-1 draw in the first 90 minutes, and in the penalty shootout I was absolutely terrible, although some decent keeping to save a few of their shots as well. So all in all, that's been a successful pre-season tournament for us because we've managed to win the tournament, and that means that we've got the maximum amount of funding from the tournament, which we can obviously put into our transfer budget going forward. So talking of that, I'm going to have an approach here for a Wolves player that I've obviously had in the last couple of seasons, a decent centre-back, still fairly young at 23, and you know, he's relatively cheap. We offered 800,000 to start with, and we've had to negotiate that with the team, so we're going to end up at 850,000 with a 11% sell-on clause, which I don't think is too bad for the type of player that we've got there. Left-footed player, and yeah, he will fit into the lineup quite easily, and his growth and potential should be quite high as well, so all good there. As we move on to another signing that I've had last season for Wolves, which is Marcus Tavernier. Basically, this is a player that I really enjoyed playing with last year. He's obviously a pacey winger. Doesn't start out with a fantastic rating, but his potential to grow is fantastic. And as you can see, we've just done a deal there to let Henry Lansbury go, because again, that 2 million or just over 2 million will come in handy in terms of grabbing some additional players. He was only ever going to be a fringe player, and I'd rather have younger fringe players coming through with more potential, a higher potential. As we get an offer here for Bree, the right back, and Bree's a player that at this point I hadn't really played much with, so I thought I might let him go, but as we can see, that kind of fell on its face in terms of the deal, because the team didn't want to pay any more than what they'd previously offered. And lastly here we got an offer in for Adama. Now again, another player that I haven't really got on with straight away, so I decided to let him go because we've for nearly £7 million, just thinking we can actually go out and purchase for £7 million at this stage in the career mode. So let him go, and now we've got an offer for one of our fringe goalkeepers, Sarkic, or I'm sure you probably pronounce that slightly differently, but again, he's only a fringe player. We've got plenty of keepers on board, and I plan to try to get a youth player keeper in and train them up, because they do train very well, very quickly. So we're just going to let this player go for 195k we go for, I think, in the first instance, which they don't want to go for, so we go for 180, and because he's a young player, we had a sell-on fee in there just so that we might get something if he does grow in the future and is worth more money. As we move on to the training, and we're going to have a little bit of a shuffle up now that we've got some additional players on the board. And we've got an offer here for Davis, striker, another fringe player. He is a youngster, but at 65 rated, and with the kind of offer we've just been given, I'm quite happy to accept that and move on. As we get our first scout report through from our youth coach, I sent him off to Germany to try to find some strong players. Usually the German league and from a youth point of view, brings through some decent players. So we decided to send him out there. As we can see, our budget's looking quite healthy now, having sold off quite a number of players, and the players that we've replaced them with haven't actually cost us a great deal. So, yeah, another deal here on the board, Callum O'Hare, and yeah, they've offered me more than I wanted for the player, but they wanted to take out the sell-on clause, so now they're offering 400,000. His current value is 300,000 with an overall rating of 59. So I have a feeling that player might have quite a substantial growth rate in the future. As we look here at who's actually gone out the door in this transfer window, and we've got Micah Richards, Bjornsson, Lansbury, Adama, Sarkic and Davis with a total of 12.8 million. And signings wise, we've got Smith Rowe, Oxford, Dazelle, House, Tavernier at a total of 3.625 million. So we're in the positive here. We've got plenty of money going into the end of this season. So if you've liked this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content in the future.